Okay, we're live on Facebook. It's 12:34 to December 2023, and I'm going to try and zoom in with the Facebook camera, if I can do so. There we go. Wait. Okay, great. So, try and give you a close-up view of the. Let's not trip on anything. Come on. That's close enough. That's good enough. All right, great. So we're zoomed in. So, oopsies, what we're sticking. Okay. All right. So now I want to see if I'm live in Facebook via Facebook. So great. I'm live. And that's what you're seeing. Okay, great. So going back here to starting my search. Here I just typed in Aiwa CS-600. You can see that on the Facebook or the YouTube. Great, okay. So there I typed in that, and the first thing comes up is Hi-Fi Engine and that, and Radio Museum, and then it's for sale, and a couple of blurbs, and then Sarah to Go, and Boomboxery, which I'm a, anyway. So here is East Help, which I told him a long time ago I was going to help him with this, and never did, and finally here I am. So here's his pictures and his issues, and then just more issues. Needs a motor, and needs help with, this person needs help with a belt change. Well, and then like I said, I'm live in Facebook. Yay. Okay, so we're going to hit play. Great, so I zoomed in, you can see that. Okay, so now let me go to my, see if I get this. By the way, I do have the Hi-Fi Engine service manual. So here it is, and just there is the specs of it in case you want to see that ever so briefly. It's I can't remember where to read all this from. Anyway, it's 7 watts per channel, and 35 to 16K for the tape deck. All right, great, good enough. And just come on down here to where I'm at. Let's see if I can get to the right page. You're right here. This is where I'm at. Okay, this is where I'm at with the motor. This is the motor, and that's the coupling capacitor for the motor or whatever, and this is the circuit board where it's all at. What is going on here, I don't know. Now, okay, this is my pictures. I didn't start with the customary front, back, side, and all that. I actually took out the few screws that are in the back. I think it was 6. It tells you in the instructions. So I'm just going to dance through these. Here, I took it apart, I got it open, looked and took a flash picture. I did this at night, or in the dark. So I was using flash pictures, and it was not very good, but good enough for me to understand how this came together and what to take apart and such. Alright, so there's the tuner, and then here's the that side, okay, of the inside, and then this is the where the speaker wires came off of right there. Okay, and then there was another plug, this one here, which I unplugged, that also goes to the front. And then here's the front with the flash, and it's a 4 ohm speaker, and that's as far as I got with that. Alright, it's got, I think, it looked like piezo tweeters up there, but I'm not sure. Okay, then here's the tape deck, alright, as I took it out, and there's the record thing, and that just clicks on. It's not on the machine right now. And here I'm trying to take a picture of the record bar switch, how it connects, which is right there. That's the switch, and then that's the bar that connects anyway. And then just another picture trying to use the flash, and again, here's the close-up of that. It just touches on there. Okay. And another picture, and okay, so now here we have the, finally, it's just 4 screws to remove the tape deck, okay, and anyway, there's no belt on there. The belt is, the flat belt is there. There's a flat belt, but it didn't have the other secondary belt at all. It was a turn to goo. Alright? So here I'm testing the motor with a battery pack. Okay, that's a battery pack, alright, which I have plugged up to here to a pair of test cables, right? And the other ends are on there, and I get the motor to run. So again, there's still no belt on there, right? So the motor works because that's right. Let's see here. Oh, let me go to my page, my YouTube page. Yeah, so here we are. 118 views of, I guess, what, yesterday that I made a video about listening to see what needs to be repaired, November, whatever. Yeah, last day of November. Okay, so going back to my pictures, right? Okay, so here I've tested this. The motor does work, all right? And here's just a picture of the motor and how it came out of there and such, and that's like another view of the motor just before I take this off. Found out there's only 2 screws and a dovetail. Hard to see, but there's a dovetail right here and 2 screws at the other end. Let's see, is that right? There's 2 screws. Let's see, where are they? This one here, which is hard to see, and that one there. You just remove those 2 screws and the whole thing just comes off. Okay? So there's that, and then we're back to that. So now, because we went from this folder to that folder, so now we have to go to this folder here. These are a continuation of pictures that I took. So here's a picture of the tape deck, a nice close-up view, alright? Not much to see here. And then here is, okay, this is, I'm just trying to figure out what wires turn on the cassette deck. That's the thing I'm trying to find, is what leaf switch, when you soft touch these things, is why is there no power coming to the motor? So I'm trying to figure out what leaf switch, when you light touch these buttons, actuate the motor. Okay, so the motor is supposed to have constant power. So here is the belt off, and okay, and of course the secondary belt, just one, is obviously gunked up and all that. So I had to replace that and find out what size, and here again is the belt off. Just an underside view to make sure I didn't, lose anything when I go to remove the belt. The picture of this end, there's a little spring right here. And there again, that's the dovetail of how the motor is held on place, just by there, and the 2 screws at the other end. Okay. Here's a picture of the top view. It's got a nice, clean, shiny, brand new looking head, and the erase head, and of course the rest of the components that make up the cassette deck. Everything's all clean and good, and the gears are all there and such. All right. And here's just a odd view that I took. All right. And here's a picture of the motor, the underside. Okay, this is a good picture of this 2 screws. That screw and this screw. They're 2 different diameters. That's a smaller diameter, that's a larger diameter. They're both sheet metal screws, right? And here's the motor. A close-up view of that if you really need to know what motor you need to maybe have to buy to replace it with. That's what it takes. But the motor is good, so you don't need to replace it. Then here is a picture of, well, just before I take the flywheel out. Okay, and this is the underside of the motor housing. It just, not much to it. Okay, and then here's a picture of the flywheel out, and the secondary belt goes around there. There's a big gear that turns a whole bunch of gears inside of this, which I didn't take a picture of. There's 3 gears inside that hole there that the flywheel rotates along with this, which was very whatever. Okay, so here I'm just showing that yes, I took a lot of goo out with my pick, and I hold I hold the flywheel in the chuck of the drill to give me something to hold on to while I use a bunch of Q-tips, not shown in this picture, and this is denatured alcohol in that little jar there, which is in that thing anyway. So that's how I clean that. All right. And then this takes a, oh, what is this? I put in a, it's about a 13 millimeter or about 5-inch belt. I put in a 5-inch belt, or maybe 4.9 inches, something like that, to ensure I had proper tightness. So that's the flat belt. I didn't measure the width. I think it's like 3 or 4 millimeter wide. It's pretty wide for what it is. This is what I discovered to use for a secondary belt. Is about a 90 millimeter or 9 centimeters or 3.5 inches. That's the size secondary belt you need to make the rest of it work. Okay. Then here is pretty much the last of the pictures. This is on the back side of this, approximately right here where this capacitor is where the motor wire is attached to the main board for the motor to give it power. And here's a choke or coil. I don't know what that's for, but there it is. It's just a close-up view of that. Everything seems to be good, but I am guessing that this has gone bad, but because most cassette deck motors will have a like a filter capacitor in line with the power supply for the motor. But this is on the board, it's not on the motor. And this is the another view of that very same thing. This is where the speakers connect, and the motor issue is on the other side of this. And then here's the last picture I took. This yellow wire and this little tiny white wire are the two connections for the motor. There is no power between this and this, none whatsoever. There should be at least between 9 and 12 volts there. It's not happening, it's not working. Okay, so if someone can figure out what is going on here with these components, I don't know if that Zener diode is bad, or if the capacitor is bad, or if the choke is bad, or the resistor is bad. I don't know what's bad, but there's something bad in the circuit for the motor. Now going back, here's the circuit for the motor, for those of you that can read schematics. Okay, so here's the motor, and here's the, let's see, where's the wires for it? This is your blue, well, it says blue there. Anyway, it's just, it doesn't show the second wire. It only shows one wire. And it tells you, tells you how to, method, playback, test speed, adjust the frequency of 3,000 cycles plus or minus 10 cycles at start and ending of tape winding. That's how to adjust that. But, oops. So I don't know what in this circuit here is making the motor not get power. That's the whole issue I've been able to figure out here. So now, go back to where? See, I showed that, I'm here, okay. So now let me wide out with the cell phone and the other one, okay. Wide out with this, all right, so here, wide back out with that. Move this down here, okay, that's close enough. And then wide this one out. Bring this down. Okay. Alright, so what I want to show you is that I have a pair, or have a, okay, first of all, the unit is plugged in. Okay, it's plugged into AC power right now as we speak. Okay, and I have a pair of headphones, I have a pair of Sony little speakers plugged into the headphone jack by way of an adapter, And this, let's see, this is your stereo mono switch. This is your chrome or normal or metal tape switch. This is your tape, then line, then the radio, then line in. So I flip it over to radio.
972 80.
I got radio. Hey, and I can flip it over to line in, but there's nothing plugged in the line in because we're not there yet. So go back to that, go back to here. So now this is precariously all balanced up here. I took off the counter belt because it's precarious, it's rubbing because where I have it sitting. And so now, let me move my chair, okay? And let me get my, okay, so what I've done is I've taken some patch cords, this little patch cord here, and I have it plugged into a, this is my little test cord for plugging into the DC inputs. It's coming from a little power supply down there connected to the thing, and you don't know what that is, well, shame on you. Okay. Anyway, long story short, I have to push this and hold this. So if I go here and if I just oops, don't lose that. So now the motor's running. Okay, I have to hold this here, and I'm going to hit play. Okay, play. Can you see the tape running? Let's see. Here's my hand. Yeah, you should be able to see the tape running. We're playing music. But before that, the wire is still connected from the motor down here, which is blue wire, all the way up here to the back, and it's not getting any power. So I have to give it auxiliary power, or power from the outside the unit, by way of this bit of patch cord work. So it does play my tape, and so I can play that, and I can adjust the volume, and it's not eating the tape or anything, and I can hit, let's see here. This doesn't have it does have a rewind to replay issue, but I haven't even checked that out yet. But it will fast forward, okay, and then it will rewind, and it will, let's see, we can hit stop, we can hit play. You can see the heads jump up, which is belt controlled by the belt. Hit stop, let it rest a moment. You can see that the motor is still turning because I have power to it. Okay, take the power away, it doesn't do anything. If you hit this button here, it won't do anything because it won't jump up because the mechanism is powered by the belt. Okay, so there we go. So now the heads jump up, it goes back to play mode. Okay, but it won't power, but the unit will not be giving the motor power from within the unit here. So I don't know what's wrong. This is where my level of expertise ends, and I move it along to the next person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my belts out of this machine, letting you know that you need the was about a 90 millimeter for the secondary belt, because I don't have a whole lot of these belts. And that big flat belt, I'm definitely taking that out because that's can be used in another Aiwa machine, I'm sure, because all of these are pretty much the same. But this works, and of course in my previous video that I made a couple days ago or whenever, the unit works all by itself. Line in works. Just tape deck will not get any power to the motor by way of the main board. So I don't know what it is down in here that's not giving it power, but I can give it auxiliary power or power from outside the unit. And of course you don't want to wire this up to giving it power from within this unit here somewhere and then have the motor constantly running, because that'll wear out the motor and wear out the belt. So the whole idea is that you're supposed to have it, get power from the unit for when you turn it on and turn it off and all that. Now if I do hit stop, the motor keeps running because I have it powered up. Okay, so the motor is constantly running right now. Okay, so if you put a constant power to the machine, unless you turn off the machine or remove the AC power from the unit or remove the batteries from it, if you had operating on batteries, the motor would still run once you put batteries in, or if you connected AC power. So that's not good. So there is something in the circuitry here that's not allowing it to turn off, and I don't know what that is. So like I said, I'm going to remove the belts. Someone else, if you want to, I'll sell this model because I don't want it. I'll sell it for what I paid for it, plus I'll sell it for what? I hadn't even thought about it. I'll sell it for $200 in shipping. Okay, $200 in shipping. You'll have a nice sounding radio. You know, here's the front of it. Okay. All right. Nothing wrong with it. Just big and all that. So go back to playing. It doesn't need the tape. You know, it doesn't jitter or anything like that, so there's nothing wrong with the tape play. I can't really play any other kind of music for you here, but this is full blast here. Can you hear that? So, and this is YouTube music. I can play this all day long, but I don't want to bore you to death. But yeah, so, and I can't really, well, can't really let go of this and play the cassette at the same time, but maybe I, oh, here. Let me do that. Let me, oops, try that again, here, all right, just. Okay, here, give me this. Can I get this off here? Yeah. This is my Facebook cell phone cam. All right. Yeah, I really can't. Let's see here. How can I need 3 hands. Can I do this like this? Can I just... There we go. Yeah. Touching it there and letting you see it like that, so it works. Okay, so... It's got power and it's working, and I got tunes, and I'm gonna hold this so long like this. And there's my Goo Gone and other things I use, and so on and so forth. And you can watch yourself to infinity here. Yeah, there we are. Okay, having so much fun here. All right. Lost my, there we go, back to that. The tape deck plays. Having too much fun here. Alright. You want to buy this model, you can. $200 in shipping. Alright, gotta go. Have too much fun here. Alright, put this back up here. Alright. Put this back there. Lock that on. Come on. Come on now. There we go. Yep, there we go, great. So, alright, so I know what I can do. I can get the cell phone camera, or the Facebook, or the YouTube people off the camera thing. Let's see here, I just dropped everything. Rotate this around. Oh gosh, now what was it? White on the outside, right? So, white on the outside. Polarity speaking here, because there we go, like that, and then that up there. Get this on the end of that. Yeah, so okay, so now it's working. So 25 minutes. Sorry, East Help and everyone else, but there, this does work. It just won't get power from right there. I don't know what's the circuit board issue, but that's all I know. So I have too many radios here, but I've done all I can with this model here. This is where my level of expertise ends. Oh yeah, and I do use a there's my Radio Shack VOM. That's a volt-ohm meter. Okay, that's all I ever use. That's all I ever need. All right, so I've had too much fun here. I'll put all this jumble of wires back, and like I showed in my video the other day, that everything else does work in this model. It's just and I'm removing these belts from here. So if you really want to, if you can figure out how to get power to the motor properly from this unit, great. Otherwise, I'm taking my belts out of this because it's pretty easy to take out. Because I don't have a whole lot of these belts, especially that big fat belt, white belt there. Alright, so good day, bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Gotta go. Bye-bye. Yep, yeah. Want to hear it go again? Okay. Alright, bye-bye.